In the last lesson, we multiplied a monomial, so one term times a polynomial, which was 2, 3 terms, something like that. This one is called multiplying two binomials. So you notice there's two terms, and that word binomial means two terms. So we're going to multiply two terms times two terms. And this is actually fairly easy. It's a little bit different. Can look intimidating, but it's not that bad. We start with this first parentheses. We take the very first term in there. So 3s is my first term. We're going to multiply it by the first term in the second set of parentheses. So I'm going to multiply 3s times 4s. Well, 3 times 4 is going to be 12, and s times s is going to be s squared. All right, so there's my first number, 12s squared. Then I'm going to multiply it by the second term over here. So I take the first term, and I'm going to multiply it by the second term. So I'm going to take my 3s, and I'm going to multiply it by negative 4. Well, 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And there's nothing to multiply the s by, so it's just going to be s. So minus 12s, and it's minus because it was negative. Okay, halfway there. We've multiplied 3s. That's our first term. So we're going to come back and grab our second term, which is a negative 4. Now we're going to multiply that negative 4 by the first term in the second set of parentheses. That's negative 4 times 4s. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16, and there's only one s. So negative 16s. And then we're going to take the first term and multiply it by the last term over here. So negative 4 times negative 4. So negative 4 times negative 4, well, that makes a positive 16. So since it was positive, we're going to put plus 16. All right, here's my equation. So take a second and look at what we just did for 1 second. I took the first term, multiplied it by the first term over here. That's first terms multiplied. I took the first term and multiplied it by the second term. If you notice, these are the outside two terms. There's 3s and 4. They're on the outside of the parentheses. Outside. All right, then I took the second term and I multiplied it by the first term here. Those are the inside two. And then I multiplied the negative 4 and the negative 4. Those are the last two. So look, it makes this word FOIL. Now, I don't really use the word FOIL. Some books teach FOIL. You multiply the first things, the outside things, the inside things, and the last things. I don't really like it. It's just distribution. You take the first term, multiply it by everything in the parentheses. Take the second term, multiply it by everything in the parentheses. The reason I don't like FOIL, it works. It's the same thing. We're doing the same process. But FOIL only works if we have two binomials, which is what we do here. But later on, we're going to have maybe a binomial here and a trinomial here, so 3 terms. Well, FOIL doesn't work anymore because we have more numbers. But if you just take the first term, multiply it by everything over here, second term, multiply it by everything over here, it works. Now, there's something else that has to happen. On almost all of these, if we do this correctly, these middle two terms that we wrote down, and you notice we have a negative 12s minus a 16s. They're going to match. This is an s, this is an s. These are like terms. So we actually need to combine those. This first one, this 12s squared, we don't do anything with that. It's fine. Negative 12 and negative 16 make negative 28. And then we don't do anything with the 16. If we did it correctly and they're not some really weird, strange problems, these two middle terms should always be the same, and we're going to have to combine them. And we just do whatever operation is here. So negative 12, I'm going to subtract 16 from it and get negative 28s. Once we've done that, this is now our answer. So we got 12s squared minus 28s plus 16. And it's the same for all these. So no matter what, I'm going to pick the first term in the first parentheses, g. And we're actually going to multiply, I can't speak today. We're going to multiply it by both terms. So the 2g and the 3. So I'm going to multiply g times 2g. And then I'm going to multiply g times 3. And then we're going to write them down. So g times 2g, well, 1 times 2, that'd just be 2. Remember, there's a 1 in front. G times g, that's just g squared. So I'm going to start with 2g squared. G times 3, well, that's just 3g. Since I need a symbol and it was positive, we're going to put a plus. Okay, I come back, I grab the second term, which is a minus 2. Carry it away there. So minus 2, or negative 2. And we're going to multiply it by both terms over here. So we're going to do negative 2 times 2g. And we're going to do negative 2 times 3. Negative 2 times 2g makes negative 4g. And negative 2 times 3 makes negative 6. All right, again, these middle two terms match. That's a g and that's a g, so we need to combine them. So we had 2g squared. We're not going to mess with that. 3g minus 4g makes negative 1g. And then the minus 6 we're not going to mess with either. Now, it's important, we're not going to put this 1. Remember, that's understood. We're just going to put in 2g squared. Put minus, and I'm just going to put a g. We don't need the 1. Minus 6. All right, and it's this way for all of them. There's nothing super fancy or super special. Notice I can't advance. There's no extra sections because it's all the same thing each and every time. So let's do another one. I'm going to take my first term, which is 3v. I'm going to multiply 3v times 4v. I'm going to multiply 3v times 3. Well, 3v times 4v, 3 times 4 is 12. V times v is v squared. So I have 12v squared. 3v times 3 makes 9v. 9v, since we don't have a symbol, I'm going to put a plus. Switch colors here for a second. I'm going to come back to the second one. All right, my second term was a 3. It's positive 3, so I'm going to do 3 times 4v. And then I'm going to do 3 times 3. 3 times 4v makes 12v. 3 times 3 makes 9. So we had plus 12v because it was positive, and then plus 9. Again, we did it correctly, so we've got v's in the middle. They can be combined. The first one, the 12v squared, we can't combine. We just leave it. 9v plus 12v makes 21v, and then plus 9. Okay, come over here. We're going to put in 12v squared plus 21v plus 9. And that's it. Same thing every time. Just be careful of your negatives. So like when I go to distribute, it's going to be negative 4 times t and negative 4 times negative 3 when I do my second ones. I really think it helps to draw. Let me switch colors here. Blue. I think it helps to draw the arcs to show, okay, this 3t is going to be multiplied by t. This 3t is going to be by negative 3. Then I like to switch colors. So negative 4 times t, negative 4 times negative 3. Write them down, combine your middle two, write out your 3 terms, and you're done.